Dennis Itumbi, the Hustlers spokesperson, was abducted yesterday. And luckily for Dennis Itumbi and his family, he has been found alive. There are cases of Kenyans who were abducted like that. Some were found dead. Some have never been found up to date. Who abducted Dennis Itumbi? And which begs the question, who is after Dennis Itumbi? Because Dennis Itumbi is not an ordinary Kenyan. Dennis Itumbi is a former director, senior director, based at State House. Dennis Itumbi has credible intelligence, and that's why he is a target. He's a guy who will always know whatever is happening. The question is, how did this happen without his knowledge? I want us to try and figure out what really transpired. Who is behind Dennis Itumbi's abduction? And I want to ask 4 questions. And I want you guys to take your time, listen to these 4 questions. If you can answer those 4 questions, then everything should be put to rest. Now, let me begin by going through Dennis Itumbi's brother, who tweeted about Dennis Itumbi's arrest. So he began by posting, "They have abducted my brother Dennis Itumbi in a thuggish way. Keep your gadgets charged. We'll be updating you." So that's Dennis Itumbi brother breaking the news about the abduction. Later on, he made another tweet that all leads show his phone is at Parkland police station. The authorities are scheming to frustrate efforts to know where he is. So it means after these guys abducted him, they took him to Parklands, or they took his phone to Parklands just to confuse people. So they must have been very smart. Then he's continuing another tweet that few months ago, Dennis had been chased by armed people who wanted to cause harm to him. This was after he had published some content online. He had recorded a statement that his life was in danger. No protection was granted to him. We need some answers. So the question is, what is this content that Dennis Itumbi published? And who could be this person? The brother maybe has more details on that. Then he later on said, "We have literally inspected all cells at Parkland police station. Dennis Itumbi is not there." So Dennis Itumbi, they looked, was not there. Then later on, he posted that according to eyewitnesses, as Dennis Itumbi was being abducted, police were arresting people who had no mask. As soon as the car abducting Itumbi took off, all people who had been arrested were released. Some answers. Now, this is very interesting, that while the police were abducting Itumbi, they were also arresting people. There are other police who were arresting people over mask. So the moment that vehicle left, Ili operation was called off. So which means, according to brother, this was the work of police, which you can conclude. And then later on, he shared photos of Itumbi after they found him, that my brother had been badly beaten. We thank God that he's alive. On his own account, he was arrested by police and beaten and tortured. This is the state we found him. He shared the photos. You can check there. Please pray for his recovery. Asante for your many prayers and support. The question is, who is after Dennis Itumbi? The truth of the matter is that Dennis Itumbi was abducted. That's the truth. And then this guy, after his abduction, he was moved around for around 6 hours. Then the abductors then decided to dump him somewhere in Doraka. And he was dumped there stark naked. So Itumbi was actually dumped stark naked. Which brings us to the question, the 4 questions which I want to ask. Who is the beneficiary if Dennis Itumbi is harmed? Let me put it differently. Who are the beneficiaries if Dennis Itumbi is harmed? Assuming today we wake up, Dennis Itumbi is badly harmed or is even eliminated. Who is going to be the biggest beneficiary? Is that person going to be President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta? Because Dennis Itumbi is praying that the president is stopped from endorsing Raila Odinga, is stopped from stopping the deputy president. Will President Uhuru Kenyatta be the biggest beneficiary if Dennis Itumbi is eliminated? I don't think that President Ruto Kenyatta even cares about Dennis Itumbi. I don't think he will be the biggest beneficiary on that. Will Fred Matiang'i be the biggest beneficiary if Dennis Itumbi is harmed? Do you think? I don't also think so. What will Matiang'i benefit if Itumbi is harmed? He's been calling Matiang'i all sorts of names. Matiang'i seems not to care much nowadays. But you never do. But I don't think so. Will that person be president? I mean, will be the deputy president, Dr. William Ruto? Because Ruto can gain sympathy. But what will he lose if Dennis Itumbi is harmed? He will not get Dennis Itumbi in his camp. So I don't think even the DP himself will be the biggest beneficiary. What about Raila Odinga, for example? Because the people Itumbi is accusing are working so hard to make Raila Odinga the president. But Raila Odinga is someone who doesn't care about all this. There are people who have even published books on Itumbi. I mean, on Raila. Miguna published books. He's been calling Raila names, everybody. Raila doesn't care. So I don't think Raila will be the biggest beneficiary. So which means the beneficiary might not be the people we know. Could be some staffs in his office, maybe his social life, maybe his own social life. But who will be the biggest beneficiary? If he can get answers to that, then we can know where the problem is. So that's the first question. The second question, who is these people? Who are these people who abducted Itumbi? According to sources, there were 4 people. They abducted Itumbi. And my worry, and this is what should worry Tanga, is the people who had abducted Itumbi. Who are they? Because these guys seems to know their work perfectly well. They are professionals. The first things these guys did was to make the entire abduction, after these guys released the photos, to make it appear as if the whole thing was stage managed. I don't think Itumbi would go to the extent of stage managing his abduction to an extent of even walking naked. I don't think so. But these guys, from the photos which were shared, they wanted Kenyans to doubt the whole thing. So if you study the photos which they shared, which the Itumbi family shared, there's that where the blood is oozing from here. But there's not a single bruise on Itumbi. There's the mouth here dry, nothing. No swelling on his face. But the truth of the matter is that this guy is someone who was tortured thoroughly. Itumbi was thoroughly tortured. His hands fractured, wame twist. Mguu wamevunja, but you can't see. There's no swelling. So which means these guys were professionals. They know what they are doing. So who are they? Who are they? Apart from that, psychologically, they also tortured Itumbi. So they understood what they wanted. The first thing they did when they arrested Itumbi was to talk as if they were headed to Eldoret. Where is Eldoret? Sugoi. It's like now they were taking Itumbi to the boss. Waja tumpeleke Eldoret. So Itumbi knew when he was found, he knew he was in Eldoret. So that's psychological. The next thing they did was to remove his clothes. Then they dump him there. Another sad situation. So it means psychologically, these guys were torturing Itumbi. I don't think Itumbi would want a situation where next time that kind of thing will happen to him. Because this is just a warning. So they removed his clothes. Then dump him. Do you know the implication of removing Itumbi's clothes? Probably they even took his photos while naked. And soon maybe you will start seeing photos of Dennis Itumbi being leaked online. A naked Dennis Itumbi being leaked online. What kind of a shame would that be? So it means these are people who understand what they were doing. They psychologically, they've dealt with Itumbi. I don't know whether Itumbi will recover. But of course, Itumbi is Itumbi. He might recover. But it's serious. The fourth question is, what does Dennis Itumbi stands for? The other question, why do you think Itumbi is being targeted? What does he stand for? Because when this news came, Kenyans were divided. There were those who supported that abduction because they felt that it's just karma coming to haunt Itumbi, because Itumbi celebrated when others were being subjected to the same kind of mistreatment. But his supporters and his allies were very sympathetic to him. Personally, I'm sympathetic to Itumbi. But when I remember how people like Alan Wadi suffered because of Dennis Itumbi instigating their arrest. Alan Wadi was just a small boy at Moi University. He started attacking Uhuru and abusing Uhuru. Itumbi instigated his arrest, supported. Alan Wadi was arrested trying to cross the border. He has not recovered from that up to now. Kisumu County government tried giving a job. I don't know whether he managed, but up to now, I don't even know where he is. My friend Kabs Nyakisi just spotted something. Itumbi came, that lady tells me she was driven from Kisii to Nairobi, Kamamera, a girl. Do you know the kind of torture the lady went through? A young girl. Itumbi celebrated. Just like Kenyans are not happy with whatever Miguna is doing. So which begs the question, what does Itumbi stands for? Does it stand for Tanga only, or it stands for a better Kenya? And what are all these wars Dennis Itumbi is fighting? Some of them, are they necessary? Because if you fight so many wars, it means you can be a target. Someone can take advantage of the wars you are fighting so that someone else can be accused or blamed, but not really that person. So Itumbi must figure out the kind of wars he's fighting. And lastly, my last question, why do you think Tanga are so desperate to milk sympathy out of this Itumbi saga? What will happen to them if investigations will be done, and truth comes out that this whole drama had nothing to do with politics? Maybe it's politics also. Let me hear your thoughts. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Don't forget, by the way, to subscribe if you're watching this channel for the first time. What we do here is that we analyze politics in a way you can't find any other place. So the best thing, just click the subscribe button now. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys from the bottom of my heart for your continued support. Without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Thank you, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.